Hi there, my name is Scott. I'm an occupational therapist here at Therapy for Kids. And recently, I've been having these encounters with parents about their child having difficulty reading. I have 6 kids of my own, and they read pretty well, thanks to their mom who has really taught them well how to read, different phonics programs, and just us fostering reading within our house. And I wish, my hope is that other kids could have that gift, that knowledge, that desire to read. That's why I'm doing this video. Yesterday, I was at a coffee shop, and there was 2 moms at the end of the table standing there talking to each other, and they were bringing up in their conversation their 2 children who were having difficulties in school. They were just having a hard time keeping up. Smart kids, but they were having difficulty reading, keeping up with the homework. And I got drawn into the conversation because one of them figured out I was an occupational therapist at Therapy for Kids, and that I knew a little bit about their situation as far as how I potentially could help their kids and how our clinic could help their kids. And so we just had the conversation. I was trying to learn what their kids were doing, what they were interested in, and I always ask, how is their reading? Do they like to read? And it's usually, not so much, or it's slow, or I have to help them understand what they're reading. And so that's why I wanted to start giving some tips on how to help your child read better, to foster that love of reading, and just to do better in school. I remember as a child growing up, I hated to read. I did not like to read. It wasn't until I was probably in my mid-20s where I really liked to read. Well, guess what? What happens in your mid-20s? You're not in school. You get to read for fun. You get to read what you want to read. So it brought me back to the point that habit inequality creates income inequality. Our habits drive our success. I grew up what most people would call poor. I was not rich growing up. And I remember, I'm shooting this video right now in the winter. It's cold. I remember growing up, my mom, I was raised by a single mom. She made me crawl under the trailer because I was raised in a trailer. It was a small space. But in the winter, I had to crawl under the trailer and wrap the pipes in electrical heat tape so the pipes wouldn't bust in the wintertime. And so this is the type of situation that I grew up in. Reading was not fostered in my house. My mom might have read some, but it just really was not fostered. Of course, she wanted me to do good in school, and I did okay in school. I'm an occupational therapist now. I think that's in spite of me reading, not because I read all the time. I just did not like to read. And growing up, since I didn't have a lot, and my family didn't have a lot, even my extended family didn't have a lot, I started noticing, what are these people doing in my immediate surroundings who are successful? And I'm not talking, multi-million-dollar successful. I'm talking about people who actually had a job, people who were not living off of the government. They didn't have to draw a paycheck. They had a job. I thought they were successful. In my family, that was successful. You had a job. You were able to keep a job. And so I was just noticing, what are these people doing? What are the next level people doing? Maybe the people who have a business. Maybe the people who are driving a nice car. What are they doing to be successful? And so I started to notice over the years that the people who are successful read. They liked to read. That was kind of a common theme. And so as I grew older, as I got out of school, I decided I need to read. I need to learn what other people know, because there's all the secrets that these successful people have, they're willing to share with you. But you got to read their books. And the library is full of them. You don't even have to pay for them. The books are free. The knowledge is free. And so those who read succeed. That's just the plain truth. So I want to give you some tips to help improve your child's reading. I'm going to keep these short, and I'll give you the first tip right now. The first tip is to read every day. I'm not talking about your kids reading. I'm talking about you, mom, you, dad, reading every day. I'm not talking about a real long time. Just take 5 minutes. Just take 2 minutes to read. The important thing is that you read every day, that you create that habit. Because like I said, the habit inequality creates income inequality. So you fostering the habit of reading every day, just for a little bit, just for a couple of minutes in front of your child. But you are reading. You are showing them that this is a book. It's not a smartphone I'm reading. It's an actual physical book that I'm reading. And if you can read out loud, that's even better. I don't care if you can read good or not. Read it out loud. I don't care if the child is interested or not. Read it out loud. Just for a couple of minutes. Let your child see you reading. That's the most powerful thing that you can do for your child right now, is to show them that you like to read, even if you don't like to read. But I tell you what, I'm betting that you will end up liking to read if you create the habit of reading. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So being excellent is not a single time, it's frequency. It's the habit of reading, of doing those positive things. So develop and foster the habit of reading. You personally, as mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, foster that habit of reading, demonstrate it, exhibit it to your child. That's the first tip. Now, I want you to hold on for more tips, because I'm going to roll some more tips out in the future, okay? If you have any questions about reading, about child development, put it down below. I'd love to hear what your questions are, your concerns. It helps me to help you and to help others, okay? So go by therapy4kids.net. That's the number 4 in there. Therapy, the number 4, kids.net. Get some more information. I'd love to hear from you. Reach out. Let me know what your thoughts, comments, and questions are. All right, thank you for watching. God bless.